Hi, everyone. Welcome to Small Talk. Well, joining me today is Carol Paetkau, right?
Mhm.
Pronounced it right? She is the executive director of the Fraser Valley
Brain injury.
Brain Injury. Is it an association?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
Brain Injury
Fraser
Association.
Valley Brain Injury
So
Association.
how long you been doing that?
27 years.
Oh, wow. Okay, so how did you get into it to begin with?
I was working for a private firm working with people who had had brain injuries from car crashes or workplace injuries. And
Right.
then I had the opportunity to meet a group of family members and survivors of brain injury out in Chilliwack.
Okay.
And then they offered me a half-time position, and I had small kids out in Aldergrove, and I thought, okay, let's try it. So I've been with it ever since.
So what do you do? What does your job entail?
A little bit of everything. So I do a lot of paperwork.
Fun.
I know. I do a lot of grant writing, report writing. I supervise our team. I create programs, put them in place. I oversee everybody's work, and yeah, do a lot of phone calls, networking,
No, I know here.
advocacy.
Oh, okay. All right.
Sorry.
Yeah, for sure. Well, obviously, I would think, I shouldn't say obviously, I would think a lot of networking is important in that type of position, right? Now, I know there's a group here in Chilliwack, a support group. Are there many in the Fraser Valley or within BC itself?
Oh, well, we have one in Hope, a program in Hope, and then there's a support group Chilliwack and Abbotsford and one in Langley. So, and we run a variety of different other programs besides just support groups
Oh,
as well.
what are the programs?
So we contract with Communitas Supportive Care Services for Abbotsford and Chilliwack to do drop-in programs. And we run one in Hope ourselves for people with brain injuries. Then we have a variety of health and wellness activities that could be artwork, could be yoga, community kitchen program, just a wide range of things that fall under the health and wellness,
Right.
mental health, physical health, social health.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Well, I've heard a couple of stories, and I'm just thinking about the brain is such an amazing instrument, isn't it?
Yeah.
To be able to heal itself.
Yeah, neuroplasticity. So when I started, 30 years ago, 30 plus years ago in the field, we thought that, once your brain cells died, that was it. There was no healing that, and you can't generate new ones. But we've learned over the years that the brain's very neuroplasticity. Well, there's a lot of neuroplasticity. We might want to do that part again. We've learned over the years that about neuroplasticity. So when the brain is injured, it figures out another way, another pathway to create, connections so that the body can help you learn to, or the brain can help you learn to talk and walk again, but also just all kinds of multitudes of things that people can heal from after a brain injury. It takes years, but
yeah, for sure. Sorry, I was jumping ahead there a little
that's
bit.
okay.
I've always got these. No,
I talk a lot.
No, that's what a good interview is. You should be doing the talking, not me. I ask questions, you answer. Take as long as you want. But I forget what my question was. No, I know what it's going to say. What kind of qualifications do you need to do your job?
Well, I have a Bachelor of Arts in psychology, so nothing specific to business. I think a good business administration background would be helpful because you don't have to have worked in a nonprofit to run a nonprofit. I think compassion and passion for what you do is a key in any nonprofit role because we're helping people. So it's not just a business. There's more to it than that. So, and I have a lot of experience in the field. I've kind of grown through the position. So I didn't start out as the ED. I started out as the community outreach worker.
Oh,
so my job was to find the services for people with brain injuries out in the valley. And, 27, 28 years ago, there were really none.
Right.
And so we set out to create some.
One of the things I was just thinking about too is as you're talking, sometimes we meet people and we think something's not right, but we don't know what it is. And most people don't say, hey, what's wrong with you? Like that. But a lot of times they just assume they're drug addicts.
Okay.
But I've noticed that some of where I go, like the one here on Chilliwack, one of the ladies, a very slow speaker from brain injury that she had. And it's not anything else to do with, nothing to do with drugs or alcohol, or whatever. It's a brain injury, right? And it took her, she told me she had their accident in the 1990s sometime. So I'm assuming her speech will never get back to what it was like, not 100%,
Mhm.
but it's important for people not to judge, right?
Yeah. A lot of people think that survivors of brain injury are, drunk or
Yeah,
are users, and then unfortunately, it could be a speech deficit because of a stroke,
right.
which
Yeah.
is quite common.
Okay.
So aphasia is very difficult for people to produce words.
Right.
But brain injuries can affect all kinds of different ways of your communication being affected. So thank you for that. It is important not to judge.
Yeah, because I think we often do. Like I also know a young man who's schizophrenic, and people don't understand. He talks really, really fast, or he starts mumbling, or almost like manic sometimes, and it's like, yeah, because people said to me, don't trust him, but they didn't know him,
Yeah.
right? And so it's learning about people. So just thinking about years ago, I interviewed an artist who, after major brain injury from an accident, he forgot how to paint.
Oh.
He was getting so depressed, and then one day something clicked in, I guess. He started painting, but it was totally, totally different from anything he ever did before.
Oh, wow.
Right? It took a whole new route, So it's like really fascinating. Again, brain, it just amazes me.
Yeah.
Then these other times, I struggle with words, and I'm thinking, well, what's wrong with my brain?
Not enough coffee.
Oh, heavens. That would be something. Now, I know, again, I'm only familiar with the group here in Chilliwack, and I don't know what you call her, Esther's title. What is her title?
For us, she's a case manager. So Esther actually runs two programs. So one through Communitas, which is the brain injury drop-in center here in Chilliwack. And then for Fraser Valley Brain Injury, she also works for. So for us, her title is case manager, and she runs the In the Now support group, which is curriculum sort of based. So they have topics every week of what they were going to learn about and discuss. And then aside from that, she does one-to-one support with people who maybe are having trouble navigating the system. Maybe they're having trouble with their housing situation, or they need help applying for income assistance for people with disabilities, PWD, etc. It's a very, very large job description when you call somebody a case manager.
She didn't want to be interviewed.
And she passed them to me.
Yes, she did. Yes, she did. But I'm glad she did. Over there, like at this one, there's such a when you go in there, you can see how they're all connected, like a nice family, right? And they, take care of each other. And I think that's really, really awesome to see that. And I can see how important it is. So I don't know if I'd asked you before on the phone, or if I asked Esther, how did people find out about the support groups?
That's a tough one, because I think a lot of people don't really find us for many years after their brain injury. So it would be nice if people would learn about us earlier. A lot of times it's through word of mouth, sometimes the family doctors, but family doctors don't know all the services out there, so that's not common. So they kind of wander in based on somebody told them to come by and ask for support, or maybe a social worker has helped direct them our ways.
I was just wondering about that. I see all these people here, and I see sometimes there's a lot of people there, sometimes there's not as many. So it's just who feels like attending that day.
And food helps.
Yes, I heard
that always encourages people to come and join. But we do provide a meal every once a week, and usually Esther makes enough that there's leftovers for the second day. So
I hear about that. I've heard about some of her meals, and I'm really happy.
So good.
And what this again, I'm saying this group because it's the only one I know about. I know that at least one of the ladies that I don't know if she's started off as a brain injury. I've forgotten her name, but they prepare bags of food or groceries to take. I think there's 10 people that she takes these out to. So it's not just for them. Whenever they get stuff, I love that part of it.
Yeah, the food donation program has been amazing. Such generous people in the community that bring by groceries, and then Cobb Spread also donates bread every week. So Esther and her volunteers put together all these beautiful food bags for people that not just go to our membership, but sometimes when there's more that we can use, then it goes to other programs and other apartments with lower income housing.
That's what I like. That's the part
spread that.
If you have more than you need, share it. Right. I have a question just off that topic, that if you weren't doing this, well, do you think there's something else you would like to do if it hadn't been at this type of work?
Oh, that's a great question. I've been doing work with autistic children and adults prior to brain injury, and those are really my
Oh.
only two careers. On the side, though, I do work for a wedding decorating company part-time, which is
that
a
right?
lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, hard physical work, but it's lovely. So it feeds my creative need.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, I think that would be awesome to
Yeah,
do.
it's a
right?
lot of fun.
If you have that. I don't have that kind of talent, so
Oh,
yeah.
I don't have to do much. They point me in the right direction, say, go make this look like this. Okay, I'm on it. So that I kind of enjoy. I really enjoy the creative parts of my personality, I guess. So
Right.
doing something creative. This work would translate well into business. I also own a business with my husband.
Well, why am I not surprised?
Yeah.
What
So,
kind of business do you own?
oh, he runs a softball program. So he
Oh.
teaches softball. He runs he's the head instructor for the high school academy at Yale High School in Abbotsford.
Very
So
good.
I help him a little bit. I don't teach softball. That's not my skill, but he is very good at it.
Very nice. So assuming you have off time, what do you do?
I like to renovate my home. I like to
Gosh.
paint walls. We do furniture. I have two kitty cats that I love and cuddle with as much as I can.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hang out with my kids when I get a chance to. I have adult kids.
How many children do you have?
Two.
Okay, so they're all obviously you said adults are not living at home anymore.
I have one at
One
home.
at home, yeah.
Yeah. My other one has left the nest. She's working. She's got her own place, and yeah, she's doing very well. Our son has some challenges, so he's still at home and will be for the foreseeable future. Anyways, we hope eventually he'll fly the nest.
Well, you know what I think about is like when they talk about little kids wetting their bed, or wetting their pants, and eventually they grow out of it. How many adults do you know wet their pants?
Good point.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. You go. Some of us go back to it as we get
That's
older.
true. Eventually.
Eventually, yeah. I just think it's really, again, how important it is for you to do the type of work you do, for Esther doing what she does, so that these people who have these brain injuries can talk to people, or or get advice, or I'm not quite sure like how it all fits in together, like what kind of a puzzle it ends up being, right?
It can be a huge puzzle. A lot of people come not knowing what the resources are in the community or where to turn. So there's 13 brain injury associations, maybe 14 across the province, and some support groups. And that's really our goal, is to help guide people to where they can get access to services. So we don't just provide our support groups or our health and wellness activities. We connect people to the community groups as well.
Right.
So that we're not the only people in their lives, that they develop these beautiful networks of friends through our programs, but also feel comfortable going to local rec center to participate in those programs. Or if they're into art, maybe they'll connect with a local artist and start doing art on their own. And a lot of them do. Some of them are just prolific, fabulous artists on their own, but they come to our art classes as well.
Right, very good. Now, obviously, you have to have money to have a facility where people can drop in. So where do you get your funding from?
So we have a very generous contract with Fraser Health, acquired brain injury services. So we've been fortunate that consists about 50 to 60% of our budget in any given year. So that helps fund the drop-in program here in Abbotsford and Chilliwack and Hope. And also some of our case management team is funded through Fraser Health. And then we have charitable gaming, local service clubs, donations, fundraisers. We have a pub night fundraiser coming up on April 5th in Langley, if anybody's interested.
Yeah, well, you have to give me the details so I can include that.
Yeah.
I'll write it down after we finish, so that people can see where it is and all of that information, because it's important. I know that a lot of whether you're funded by the government or not, it still takes more than sometimes what they give you, right?
Definitely. Yeah, we also get funding through the Brain Injury Alliance, which is an excellent organization that has government funding that we can apply for grants. So we fund several of our programs through the Brain Injury Alliance. We're very grateful to that organization as well.
Right. Is there anything else you need to add before we, where you would like to add, sorry, before we end off?
Sure. If somebody is looking for support after a brain injury, and that can be any type of brain injury that occurs after birth. So it can include stroke, car crashes, falls, heart problems that cause you to not have oxygen to the brain for a period of time, overdose, those kinds of situations. We're happy to connect with people, see where we can help, and try and help them fill in the little gaps and in their lives, get them connected to community and support them through some of the really challenging parts of life, which is just filling out paperwork.
Right.
Where do I get support? How do I get support?
Yeah.
It's overwhelming.
Yeah, I can imagine sometimes it's difficult when you're reading something after a brain injury to understand what you're reading. I mean, it can be hard anytime, but I would think it would be especially hard then, right?
Yeah, it can be, especially if even before the brain injury that you weren't a strong reader to begin with.
Right.
Yeah, or if you have communication difficulties from aphasia, it's extra difficult.
Oh, right, okay. Are there, let's just say, more injuries from, say, car accidents than a fall or?
It tends to be more car accidents. So we do a lot of work communicating with ICBC about recovery for people with brain injuries in particular, but it can be in seniors, for example. Falls are the highest thing that causes brain injuries in seniors and small children. And then young adult males, it can be risk-taking behaviors, a lot of car crashes, work-related injuries, that type of thing. But primarily, 50% or so is car crashes.
I was just thinking about something too, that I've had those, I think you call them the TIA strokes. And they're not major, but it still affects your brain, right? As you know, immediately afterwards, I had trouble struggling with my words, and it's never come back completely because I've had about 3 or 4. I can't remember now,
Yeah.
So people don't even think of that as a brain injury. Yeah. But it is, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, our criteria is tough because it requires medical proof of brain injury.
Of course.
So
yeah.
If obviously there's medical proof of TIAs, and that's a little bit easier. And strokes are fairly straightforward.
Right.
Where we run into trouble is sometimes with concussion. So there's not always medical proof of concussions. A lot of people don't seek medical attention for concussions, but for those that are struggling with concussion, if it's been a number of weeks, they can get their doctor to refer them to Fraser Health's concussion clinic.
Right.
And they can see them up to a year post-concussion if they're having symptoms.
Right. Now, I just want to mention to the audience actually about these TIA, like for me, and if you've experienced this, go check with your doctor, because I had this, I could hear a zap going across my head. And that's why I thought something's wrong. So I went to the doctor, and I had the PAT scan or whatever it is, and he told me that I had them, so if you experience that and you're not quite sure what it is, just check with your doctor, because you never know. It might be the way I experienced it, right?
Yeah, they can affect your vision, they can affect your muscles on one side of your body. All of a sudden something's not working right. So TIAs are transient, right? So it happens, it seems to pass within an hour or 2, but it can still have some lasting impact.
Absolutely. And in my case, the doctor put me on cholesterol pill medication because I'm prone to high cholesterol. And that was a problem. So check it out, because it is important.
Absolutely. Right? Prevention is way better than coming to see us.
Yeah, for sure. Not that you're bad.
No, we don't need to see any more new customers. So, we'd rather people don't have to deal with an organization like us.
Anyway, thank you very much for being here. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. I really appreciate being invited.
Awesome. Thank you. So to the audience, you've been listening to Carol Paetkau. She's the executive director of the Fraser Valley Brain Injury Association, and I'm going to have her contact information. So if you need to contact her or the association itself, well, I'll make sure you have all of that information. In the meantime, thank you for watching the show, everybody. I hope you continue to do so. I hope you can continue to do so. Having struggles. I'm having struggles this morning. Take care, everybody, and peace out. Say goodbye, Carol.
Bye. Thank you.